r/AskReddit, Redditors who analyze drug tests. What's the strangest thing you've caught someone doing to try to pass the test? I'm a public defender. We get many excuses why people fail drug screens. One client worked at a bagel place and blamed the poppy seed bagels for his positive screen for opiates. My coworker went to the bagel place and ate 2 poppy seed bagels and then took a drug test. Positive for opiates. Your coworker found a brilliant way to cover up his own opiate addiction. Obligatory, not my story, but my wife had a court order a drug test for a guy. He put hair remover on his entire body. He showed up to his drug test completely hairless, thinking that it would defeat the test. Issues in order. The hair has to be at least an inch long, so he removed a lot of hair that he didn't need to remove. Refusing to provide a sample counts as failing the test. Also, he had to go to the hospital because of the hair remover on his more sensitive bits. All in all, a resounding success, and GT, refusing to provide a sample counts as failing the test. Literally, guilty until proven innocent. I did a bit in outpatient psych, where the patients were only out of jail due to mental illness. They had to submit to drug tests to stay out of jail, both to prove they were taking their psych meds and staying away from narcotics that would interfere with said psych meds. Failure to produce a sample invalidated the conditions of their release and they went straight back to jail. I got tested for work recently, but showed up early, so I grabbed some coffee, which is a diuretic. I finished my cup, but still had time, so I went to address the ominous rumbling from my bowels. Well, number 2 usually begets number 1, so when I got to the clinic I couldn't provide a drop. So they initiated something called shy bladder protocol, wherein I wasn't allowed to leave the office and had 1 hour to provide the needed sample. Failure to meet either condition would result in a default no pass, and I wouldn't be allowed to work, let go at worst, suspended for a few weeks at best, and a very suspicious boss from then on. The only source of water was a vending machine that only accepted singles, which I didn't have, so I ended up borrowing a used water bottle from the technician. I don't even wanna know what was in it previously, this being a facility that primarily piss tested folks and filled it with tap water 3 times, no more, because that would also cause me to violate shy bladder protocol strictures, and guzzled that shit. I filled the cup with time to spare, but damn was that a learning experience. I used to schedule drug tests for a company as well as receive the results once processed. Once a girl went in for a drug test and she reeked of bleach. One of her friends told her to drink bleach to pass the drug test. Needless to say, she ended up in the didn't pass the drug test. I've known people who also been dumb enough to try that. Obligatory, not my story. I knew of someone who had a pre-employment drug screen for a new job. He knew he was not going to pass the test and had his friend come with him and pee in a condom right before the drug screen. He snuck it in and poured the contents into the container. Ended up getting the job. Edit, for those wondering, even though it is legal in certain states, some employers can still rescind your employment if they find weed in your system. Jesus Christ, there would be like 50% unemployment if they did that where I live. Detroit, BC. Used to work as a temp worker recruiter. We did the lollipop, drool on the stick in mouth test. Upon realizing this, one smart gal excused herself to go get a drink of water and promptly filled her mouth full to bursting. Came back to the interview table and tried to put the drug test lollipop in her mouth and water went drooling everywhere. Yeah, she failed. Cocaine, meth and pot. Sadly, she was not the first to try the mouthful of water trick. I was dirty, THC, was given the oral sponge dealie, had dry mouth, took like 2x as long to saturate, and they said I passed. Yay, of course I did. I have no idea how that happened. You got the drug test stupid high, and it forgot what it was doing. Way back in the day, a buddy of mine had to take a pee test for his first big job as a car salesman at a dealership. He's an avid smoker and knew he was going to fail, but his dad really wanted him to get this job, so he bought him a fake dick thing that has a pouch of pee strapped to a leg or some shit. So he goes in there with his dad's pee strapped to his leg and all is going dandy. The contraption works great, and he fills the cup and tries to hide his thing away and leaves the bathroom. When he walks out, the woman doing the test points at his feet and says, "What's that?" And there was a tube hanging out the bottom of his pants leg. He failed on the spot. Was it Nater? Yes. Or something like it. A Minnesota Viking was caught with one at an airport about 10 years ago maybe. Obligatory, not my story but my brother's. When he was a new adult he used copious amounts of pot and pills. He needed a job, so he applied at Walmart. They require a pee test. He knew he couldn't pass it. He asked me for my pee, because my pee would have been clean enough to drink, but it would probably pop in the system as female, so he asked our dad. So our dad pees into a condom and my brother puts it in his boxers. The day of the test the administrator shows my brother to the bathroom and turns his back. My brother takes the pee condom out and can't get the knot undone, so he bites the tip of the rubber. However, he had the bottom row of his braces on because his retainer broke and his teeth went crooked, and he caught the condom on his bracket and ripped a large hole in the tip, filling his mouth with pee. He couldn't spit it out or he'd attract attention, so he poured the pee that didn't wind up in his mouth into the cup, and he had to swallow the rest. Worst day of his life at that point. At a company where I used to work, we had an applicant fail the piss test. The result came back not human urine. It was urine, just, not from a human. As truck driver I have been drug tested I don't know how many times. Anyways, I go in for the drug test 99.999% of the time it's urine test. This time was hair test, said yup, no worries. Other guy at my company shaved his hair legs, armpits, only place he didn't shave was his genitals. Guess where they got a sample from, lol. He passed BTW. Next year goes by, we both get popped for randoms. Well, this dumb fuck did same thing, but this time he shaved his genitals. Guess where they got hair from this time? His ass. I asked him, hey, why you do this when you pass every time? He said, because I hate these fuckers. He didn't pass on this time, he got it for THC and cocaine and another one. Couldn't it be taken from the scalp? They test at my work using these sticks that you put in your mouth and drool on for a few minutes. Upon finding out she was going to be randomly tested, one of my coworkers proceeded to gargle hand sanitizer. She was eventually fired for a failed drug test. I'm just not sure if it was that particular test or not. I'm laughing because most hand sanitizer is ethanol based. She probably tested positive for alcohol. If that was on the panel, alcohol is gonna be on any basic panel. You could be totally right. Every drug test I've taken for employment has been unwatched. I just replaced my urine with clean urine in the restroom. Flat pack bag under the arm. Pill bottle with a hand warmer wrapped around. Stick it between your legs. You'll pass. But then again, if you get watched, you're fucked. The Wizinator, make sure it's the right color, though. A guy used to be friends with had an identical twin brother who smoked weed. His twin needed to drug test for a job, so my friend who didn't smoke went in for him. They didn't get caught, and he got the job. This was like 10 years ago, and the brother still has the job as far as I know. I don't talk to them anymore. IDK if this fits here, but here we go. Normally when you take a drug test you get put into a bathroom and they turn off the water to the sink, blue dye in the toilet. Well, one company I went to work for outsourced to a third party for the urine screen. This was the company's main source of income. You'd think they would have their ducks in a row. They literally sent me down the hall to the public restroom, not attend it, and told me to come back with the sample. I could have had a friend in the bathroom to piss for me. Unbelievable. The way it's handled will likely vary widely depending on the handler and the area it's in. Example being, I've had to take 2 urine tests for jobs, and it was just done at a small local clinic, regular bathroom, no blue dye. My time to shine. I have been working for the staffing agency my parents now own for 4 years. If you don't know what a staffing agency is, it is a place many unemployed people go to explore the options that the agency might have available to you. Usually, the jobs offered to people are based off experience. Companies looking to hire people for open positions will employ a staffing agency to interview and vet candidates' skills and experience before submitting them to the companies for reviews, interviews and hopefully hire on. Anyways, we work with many different companies who do many different things. Some of the companies work with heavy machinery that require a urinary analysis, urine drug test, to ensure the person operating that machine is of sound mentality to be operating it safely. I had a guy who was going for one such position, and it required a urinary analysis before submitting him. I had him take a standard 5-panel test. This tests for THC, amphetamines, cocaine, opioid and PCP. To give you an idea what this guy was like, imagine Charlie from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. That's basically him. He took the test, the temperature matched up and everything. In my 4 years of working here, I never have seen someone fail all 5 panels. I look up at him and say slowly, "Well, you didn't pass." He asked what did I fail. I looked again and asked him what do you think you failed for? To gauge if this could possibly be a faulty test. He mumbled a few things, to which I told him he failed every panel. He laughed and shrugged his shoulders with yay. I have a couple demons I need to work out. I agreed and I told him I cannot work with him for 30 days, a policy we have here, so people can take a little time to get clean, and he can come back in a month. He said that once he is clean, he will come back. It's been 2 years since then. Make sure to like and subscribe.